Hello, my name is Kavita Melwani, and I'm a Master Certified Success and Business Coach with 2 decades of experience as an entrepreneur and almost a decade as a coach. I want to personally welcome you to the Soulful Entrepreneurs Club podcast, where my vision is to empower as many spiritually led businesses to run purposeful and profitable businesses aligned with their true selves. I want you to confidently and opulently shine your light without the overwhelm, the stress, or the burnout. Together, we will explore challenges that soulful entrepreneurs face and real implementable solutions so you can step into your unique purpose and shine. It is possible to bridge the success you already have with the truest, soulful, mystical parts of yourself. Are you ready to rise up as the leader you were born to be? Then join me, my soulful friends. The time is now for you to rise up and shine your light. The world needs you. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Soulful Entrepreneurs Podcast. This is the second episode in the series on networking for introverts. So last week I gave you kind of an overview of how networking can work for introverts. Just some basics about what type of events to attend and, breaking down why it's a good idea and how it can work for introverts. And so this is today I'm going to talk about the meaningful connections that you can make in this loud world. Okay, and so as a reminder, this is going to be a series of podcast episodes on effective networking as an introvert, but I'm really going to dive even deeper into these topics and add to what I'm sharing in this podcast in my upcoming class. It's a class on April 17th on networking for introverts, effectively networking for introverts. It's at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you show up live, you have an opportunity to ask questions and be coached. And also, we'll get a bonus for those that show up live. Now, if you want to attend but can't attend at the time, still register so you can have access to the recording. It will be available for 5 days after the event so that you can listen and get learn from that. And hopefully it can help you improve your life and business. Okay, so one of the things that I hear and have felt myself is when I enter into a room of people, whether it's a networking event or party, that there are certain personalities that are large. There are people that have huge, big personalities. There are people that are naturally outgoing. There are people that will have no problem going up to people and talking to them. And I take a lot longer to warm up. So when I enter into any place where there's a gathering of people, it takes me some time to gauge the room. It's almost like my nervous system has to be fully present. I have to notice who's there, and bring myself grounded instead of I can go lost in my thoughts. And so it takes me a little time. And so when you are an introvert, it can feel intimidating to go into these events because you're like, this world is so loud. How am I going to be able to build connections and build my business when there's these people here that are just like, super uber connectors, networkers that are constantly at events. They can go to several events a week, and it doesn't impact how they feel. And, so it can feel like that. But I just want to share with you that you can use your ability to make meaningful connections in this world. And what you offer is actually not common anymore. It's pretty rare for people to be able to connect deeply. And so that is how I want you to set the intention of when you're in a group of people, and then, translating that into networking. And so this more meaningful, deeper business relationships come easily to you They actually are energizing. And so when you focus on that and not the quantity, but the quality of the relationships, that's how you're going to make networking work for you. Okay. Now, it's natural to compare and look at the others and think, well, how am I going to be noticed and remembered? The idea is not to be noticed and remembered by everyone in the room. Okay. And so you want to go in ready to connect with one person, two people, three people, depending on the event, how long the event is. And so it's important for you to prepare yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually before the event. Set your intentions, right? Be very clear. And I love to use my intuition. I walk into the room, give myself a few minutes to kind of orient myself, and then intuitively go up to a person. And it does take energy, okay? And if there's someone you know, that's also helpful to go to an event with someone you know, because then you both can help each other introduce to people. It doesn't feel as intimidating. But that's not always possible. So even going by yourself, I've gone to so many events by myself, right? And so you can connect, I promise you. But the idea is preparing yourself before, setting your intentions, orienting yourself when you get there, following your intuition on who to talk to, and can be the listener. Be the person that is listening. Ask people questions about their businesses, about their lives, about themselves, and use your skills of listening. And then, you can then, the people that you meet, if you feel a connection and want to go beyond that, then you set up what, in networking is called a one-to-one, which is like a coffee, tea together, a walk, whatever you enjoy to get to know this person better. Okay. And so that is going to, over time, provide you deeper, longer connections than trying to just connect with a bunch of people. And then you leave with a bunch of your business cards and don't follow up. And then you say, well, networking doesn't work for me, right? And so I've heard that over and over again. So it's really important to do so, everything that you do for your business intentionally, and intentionally use your strengths and make it simple, right? So it's about who do I want to connect with? Who do I feel connected? You're not selling to those people in the room. Not to say that sometimes those people might not become clients. They may become clients, but you're really connecting with them, and with those connections, they understand what you do. They learn to know, like, and trust you. And once they start to get to know you and trust you, then they can potentially send you some referrals to people in their circle. Now, that some of the things that people have done, depending if you're a service provider, is try out each other's services. I've done that with people, right? So they can understand if this is a person that they want to send referrals to, right? You're not required to send referrals to someone just because you met them at a networking event, right? And so make sure that you feel comfortable with them, get to know them, and the same thing for them, right? And so then beyond that, you start to build those relationships, and then you can continue to meet with that person, continue to stay in touch with the person, and that builds a relationship over time. Okay, and so one example of that is I used to be in a business networking group, and actually a B&I group for 3 years. And I actually was in that before for my other business. And it's actually a great networking group if you want to go for a weekly event, and you get to know the people faster because you meet them every week. But it does take a lot of time. It's a time commitment. So depending on where you are in your business. And so I started to connect with people in the chapter, And some people to this day, I still use their services because I value their services. And some people I stay in touch with outside of the chapter. Um, and even though we've kind of lost touch with the others, once in a while I still get referrals, right? So now if I had stayed in touch, I mean, and then maybe I would have continued to receive referrals, but I still give referrals. I have, sent referrals. Just last week, I sent to a client that was looking for a service, and I trust someone that provides that service in my chapter, and I just sent them the referral, right? And this was like years after I left the chapter, and so there's ways to build those relationships. I have had clients that when they start to intentionally network, they're able to build connections, and they do workshops like, together with the others in their networking groups. They build friendships. They are able to create a network and receive referrals on a regular basis, and also give referrals on a regular basis, right? And so this is like how you can do this. Now, this is a long-term strategy. This is not going to happen overnight, because some people go to a networking event and expect that they're going to get business and they immediately, and that they try to sell the people in the room, which can feel really icky, right? And so instead, focus on building those relationships, building connections, getting to know the people, and come from a place of service instead of wanting that kind of like, what can I get mentality. I mean, I know BNI, their motto is givers gain, right? So it's about giving. What can you give? How can you help others? And then it naturally creates those relationships over time. And you can enjoy the process. It does not have to be hard. It does not have to feel draining. Okay? It's just how you approach it. And again, this is just an introduction. I'm going to go deeper into more strategies and more ways to network as an introvert. So I'd love to see you at my class. And until then, until next week, take good care. Bye.